Welcome to Benny versus the Penny, the Christmas bonus edition of Benny versus the Penny. And here's your host, big bloviating Ben Maller.
No days off, no days
Right,
off
Cameron.
unless mandated by the corporate machine. But we're a mom and pop shop. There is no corporate machine on
That's right.
Benny versus the Penny. We are free birds on the YouTube is what we are. And do not even think about rebroadcasting this show or else we will say we're going to send the dogs.
We will send a firmly worded letter to the White Star Line. Yes,
That's
we will.
right. So I did see some players complaining about playing on Christmas. One of the guys for the Lions, I saw in basketball, LeBron James was grumbling about having to play on Christmas. So it's really tough. You don't get paid enough money to work on holidays. It's very difficult to work.
Oh,
for
and Aaron Andrews is whining about having to work on the weekend.
Well, let me tell you, that is the toughest job, to go up to the star of the game who's handed over to you by some PR
And
hack
say,
in the NFL.
what were you thinking when you threw that?
No. How did it feel?
Right.
And then they hug you and they love you, and then you go on your way. The hardest part is getting in the first class plane seat on the way to the game. That's the hardest part. But anyway.
Well, you got to feel sorry for Erin Andrews, not including playoffs. She works 17 days a year.
Yeah, it's not that easy. That job is not that. I do enjoy these sideline reporters who like to talk about what journalists they are when they are literally hand-fed 98% of everything. It's all done in production meetings before. It's like, all right, the game's blowout in the third quarter. Let's talk about this guy's, mom. Okay,
right.
Done. We'll do that.
But this is how hard it is to be a sideline reporter. Oklahoma, Nebraska sideline reporter when he was 11, Ben Maller.
That is true. In Norman, Oklahoma, on the field there in beautiful Norman, Oklahoma, where the biggest building is the stadium. That is nothing.
It's funny. Did you have to try to think of reasons to call up to the box to have them come to you?
No. It was actually we kind of had it mapped out. They were going to go down to me a couple times in the first half and a couple times in the second half, and then there was going to be a post-game interview. So it really was hardly anything. But I was there, and if
you were a green banana back. You thought you weren't.
I was
a very young broadcaster at the time.
I was very confident in my abilities, Tom. And it's taken me to YouTube. So right there, I was at the store. I was buying some stuff, getting ready for the holiday because everything closes on Christmas, and they had some kind of jerky. It was Mr. Beast jerky. What a hustle that guy's got, huh? Is anyone buying jerky because Mr. Beast's name on it? I don't know. Maybe they are. I must be out of the loop, Tom. We need Benny versus the Penny branded products is what we need. That's the next layer to this journey, Tom. Benny versus the Penny. We can have like a Snoop Loon dog biscuits or something like that. We can mix it up a little bit. Why not?
A little inside baseball here.
Yeah.
The second season of Benny versus the Penny, I had to turn down Mr. Beast. I don't know if that was smart. Turned down because they wanted an older, in shape mentor for a show that for one of the shows he was doing, and it was a pretty good deal. But I already, I was already married to you in this show that we did for 2 years.
You were also offended by the word older, so you
I know.
You chose not to do that time. We know you're very vain, and aren't we all very vain? So that's part of it. And you made the right decision. You signed up for a TV show that got canceled right after that. Really good decision by you, Tom. Tremendous career decision. Almost as good as the gigs I've almost had. Remember when TMZ Sports launched after Tiger Woods attacked?
Yes,
it was attacked by his wife there, and I was talking to Harvey Levin and those people over there, and was about to get hired, and then something didn't work out right, Tom. I was this close. You would have never heard of me again, Tom. I would have run off to TMZ. You never would have seen me again. But now here we are, all these years later.
I interviewed once at TMZ. Went into Harvey's office. He wasn't there. He was doing People's Court. So it was, and I don't know his name, the black guy. With the
Charles, I met him. I interviewed with him too. Charles, yes, I interviewed with him too. Yes, I didn't call him
know his name because I never watched
him guy. I just said hi, guy. Yeah, that's what I called him.
And man, maybe that's what. And because I accidentally called him Mr. Black. I remember that, and that didn't do me any good. But I walked into Harvey's office, and there was something you probably wouldn't notice.
I did notice what did you notice?
Like an original Warhol. There was a Warhol
I noticed like the Tom Brady jersey, and you noticed
Okay, yeah,
the
you noticed the Tom Brady jersey. Well, the Warhol's worth more than the Tom Brady jersey. Let me tell you
Yeah,
that.
and he had a very comfortable sofa. I remember that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is what TMZ money gets you. A really nice, comfortable couch. What is the difference between a sofa and a couch, Tom, by the way? Do you know what it is?
I know the difference between a sofa, a couch, and a Davenport.
I don't care about a Davenport. I want to know what a
The
sofa
Davenport was like the 50s and 60s. It was actually just like Kleenex and not tissue. It was just a brand name for a
What's
couch.
the one with the buttons? The sofa with the buttons, very formal sofa. It's got the button. You know what I'm talking about? Like
No.
it's an old like 1920s old school style leather with buttons. No?
I'm not sure if I know that one.
Well, the good news is, you know who has all the answers, Tom? Some say Google or Chat GPT. I say the comment section right below us here
Oh, of course.
on YouTube has all the answers, and there's nothing the consumer of content loves more, Tom, than correcting the person holding the microphone. So I'm sure we'll be corrected.
Vinny is in my ear saying, "Get to the goddamn games."
Oh, I'm sure he didn't say that exact phrase, but let's get to it, Tom. Here we go. Come on. What do we got?
Yeah, which he probably should have said considering it's Christmas. Dallas Cowboys at Washington Commanders. This looked like it might be a big Christmas Day game when the schedule came out, but it's not. And why are they even playing this game, Ben?
Because it's on the schedule, Tom. They got to play the game because it's on the schedule. That's why they're playing the game.
All right. Washington getting 7 points. And let's start with the Maller mantra on an award-winning scroll, okay?
Yes. The Maller mantra. Well, I believe in this rule, Tom, 90% of the time. I always say divisional game, you always take the points if it's a touchdown or more. However, Tom.
However, not this time.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I have learned over the last couple of years when I have gotten absolutely squished, crushed like a bug on the rug, as you would say, Tom, the last couple of weeks, week 17 and 18, you've got to amend the rule, Tom, because there are horrific players who are participating, quarterbacks, teams that aren't even trying.
Yes,
so
right.
you have to really change things up the last couple of games, and I'm going to go more chalk this weekend, starting with this game. You said Cowboys is 7-point favorite. I'm going to take the Cowboys here. This is the Netflix doubleheader early in the day. 2 games on Netflix. Temperatures in the 40s, mostly cloudy in Landover, Maryland. Washington, Tom, here's a fun fact, has not covered any time they've been a 7+ point underdog this season. You'd think as a 7-point dog, you'd at least cover one of them, but they have not. Both teams eliminated from the playoffs, as Jim Moore would say. Dallas, though, has huge advantages. Dak Prescott is playing, and while Dak is not one of my favorite quarterbacks, he is much better than anyone the Commanders throw out there, and Washington's offense is going to be crippled. It looks like Josh Johnson will be.
Oh, the great Josh Johnson. Okay.
Yes, the great Josh Johnson there. So Dallas, if you look at the numbers here, based on what has happened, Dallas has clear advantages across the board in all the critical areas. Washington's defense is flea-bitten, and there's a lot of big play ability there. While Washington does not have that big play ability, Dallas should be able to tee off in this game. The only thing that you worry about is obviously the motivation. It's Christmas. It's going to be a cool day in Washington. The season's it's all over except a couple of games to go here. The edge is to Dallas, so let's not outthink ourselves here, Tom.
Okay.
We're going to take Dallas they've had some issues here. But I'm going to take the Cowboys, not because Dallas is trustworthy, but mainly because Washington is that. It's just
Washington is trust. You can trust to suck.
In fact, I would argue that there are 3 games that are unbettable. Either you have to bet on. What are you doing?
I am so sorry that they flipped that so early in the truck. Penny landing on heads. It's heads the home team, tails the visitors is how we play Penny versus the Penny.
Right.
And Penny taking the Washington football team and the points. Benny laying the points and taking the Cowboys. You were going to say there's 3 games that what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm saying they're so lopsided when you look at the quarterback matchup. It really makes you question everything. It's like one of those it's to the point where it's unbettable if you take the lesser team. They're that bad. So it's a mess. But let's move on. Let's get to it. Maybe I'll pick one of these bag teams, Tom.
And that's happened to you all year. You've been on the wrong side of the Raiders because you can't trust the Raiders, but sometimes you have to take the points. The Raiders have bitten you in the ass more than any other team this year, according to our statisticians here at the Benny versus the Penny show.
Not the Ravens, by the way. They have not this year. The Ravens have been good to me. I've made some money betting against the Ravens, but we'll get to that over the weekend. What's
Lions and Vikings? Lions need this game to have any playoff chance, but it won't be easy on the road. Minnesota's played some outstanding defense. Vikings getting 7.5 points.
You see the weather in Minnesota?
Yeah, 34 degrees, snow showers at game time in Minnesota, Ben. Will that be a factor?
Well, I'm pretty sure they'll have the roof closed because it doesn't open, Tom. So it'll be 74 degrees or whatever it is. What do you think they keep the dome? I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch these games at this thing called the Astrodome. It was like the greatest, eighth wonder of the world or whatever. And they said the temperature was always 74 degrees in the Astrodome in Houston. But have they changed that? Because it's pretty cold in Minnesota, 35. They could make it like 65 and it would still be better.
Would feel warm. Yeah, I do know in the United States of America, the greatest country on earth, for years, up until the 70s, keeping your house at 72 during the winter was key. And then we had in the 70s, long before our time, Big Ben, the energy crisis. And President Carter asked us to turn it down to 68. Oh. And in the Northeast during the winter, they've been cold as fuck ever since. 68. Dog. I would sneak over to the thermostat at Grandpa and Grandma Looney's house and turn it back
up. Well, there you go. All right. Listen, I'm going to ignore the recent issues Detroit's had on the road here. I'm going to lay the points. Again, the reason these are games that are lopsided. They're unbettable. I cannot bet on Max Brosmer. We pick every game on Benny versus Benny, every game, Tom. So we have to pick every game. I wouldn't bet on this game if we didn't have the show. So, but I'm going to take the Lions. Max Brosmer is somehow worse than JJ McCarthy, if that was possible. He's a massive downgrade from a downgrade. McCarthy's already a downgrade. That's going to create predictable play calling, very conservative by the Minnesota Vikings, try not to turn over the ball, which will lead to turnovers for the Lions defense. In the pass rush, the Vikings have two big playmakers, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, who will be neutered because of the lack of a quarterback. And Brosmer, you're not going to see many explosive plays. I'd be shocked if we see a lot of explosive plays in this game. And I'm on the right side, Tom. The professional bettors are hammering Detroit, realizing the gigantic talent gap between these two teams. Lions top 3 in yards per play and, scoring turnovers, all that stuff. So, and plus there's the need factor. Detroit needs this desperately. They need to win the last 2 games, get some help. And Dan Campbell's teams generally have done pretty well coming back after losses. So I'm going to take the Motor City Kitties and the penny picks.
Let's flip a coin.
Here we go. In the penny
Landing on tails, agreeing with Betty and taking the visiting Lions.
Let me tell you something. This show is so powerful. The U.S. government's shutting down the penny. That's how powerful.
Yes, that is true.
All right, what's next?
Denver Broncos at Kansas City Chiefs. Put a fork in the Chiefs. They're done. All-world quarterback Patrick Mahomes done for the year. Steve DeBerg not walking through that door, Big Ben. Some guy you never heard of at quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Broncos are coming off a bad loss to the Jaguars. Kansas City getting 13.5.
Yeah, this is the Amazon game. So you got 2 on Netflix, 1 on Amazon. This is the Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit game. So they call him Herbie, Tom. Temps pretty mild in Kansas City. 50s, temperatures in the 50s, partly cloudy at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs announced they're moving to Kansas, Tom. They're moving to Kansas.
Kansas, they say, is the name of the star. I can't believe it.
Yeah. I did get a kick out of the people that have never been to Kansas City that are freaking out over this. Oh, my God, this is the world. How could they leave Missouri behind? If you've ever been to Kansas City, Tom, there's a street, one of the main streets in Kansas City. You're in Missouri. You go this way, you're in Kansas. You go this way, you're back in Missouri. It zigzags between Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. So it's the great. I mean, you can still be the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the greatest. Like the Giants and Jets play technically in New Jersey.
Right.
The Rams play in Inglewood. They're not the Chiefs, though. You can still call them the Kansas City Chiefs, and you wouldn't be wrong and all that.
And for years, the Rams played down the street from your childhood home. They weren't in Los Angeles. They were in Anaheim.
That's right.
Orchard Park Bills. Known as the Buffalo Bills. So that happens all the time. In Pontiac, remember for years, the Lions were in Pontiac. Remember that?
I do. The Pontiac Silverdome where they had
there was a zeitgeist for a long time where they were taking the stadiums out to the suburbs near the mall. But now they're bringing him back into town, which I like.
Well, they have been doing that. It seems like it's going the other direction, though, because
It just depends, right? In this case, right, it's the opposite.
the Bears are looking going to
Yeah,
India.
what the hell is that?
Yeah.
We have to salute the soldiers at Soldier Field.
Okay.
I love wrapping myself in the American flag.
You are very patriotic, Tom, until it
so
comes to elections. All right. Listen, Broncos and this is an epic
until it comes to Star Spangled Banners at games. I know that's where you were going because I don't understand why they do that, but that's a whole.
People forget before 9/11, they were going to get rid of the national anthem.
Period. And they did in boxing. They got rid of it, and then 9/11 happened, and
they brought it back to
because the fighters used to stand there and get cold. So now they let.
I remember doing monologues on it because in the late 90s, there were some players on. I think it was Mahmoud Abdul Rauf and some other guys who skipped out. They went to hide. They'd hid in the locker room while the anthem was played, and people noticed. And they're like, "What are you doing?" So the NBA is like, "Oh, we'll just get rid of the anthem." And then, as you said,
people are real touchy about that subject.
All right, so this is an epic mismatch, Tom. Broncos and Chiefs. Denver playing for the bye and the number 1 seed in the AFC, and Kansas City. They're planning on which place in the tropics they're going to go to. Will they go? Are they going to go Cancun, Mexico? Are they going to go somewhere in the Bahamas?
I heard the new popular place for popular people and to go to Google flights even before your season is over is Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, is that right? I did not know that. Well, listen, Kansas City packing it in. They will likely be resting some of their more well-known players here this week, and the crowd is going to be diminished because the season has been a complete failure for the Chiefs. The Broncos coming off a home loss. So I do like good teams coming off losses, Tom, with motivation. I also noticed the sharp money has pushed the spread higher, telling you they like the Broncos also. And I did try, much like the other games, I tried to find a reason to take Kansas City. They're going to be starting their third-string quarterback, number 3. They've lost the last 2 weeks. Patrick Mahomes to an ACL injury, and then Gardner Minshew also to an ACL injury. So they've been eliminated, and the great Chris Oladokun will be taking over, a 7th-round pick for the Steelers a couple of years ago. He played college ball. He played college ball.
Yeah, Slippery Rock, right?
No, South Dakota State. You know what their mascot is in South Dakota State?
Yes, I believe it's the Fighting Cocks, I believe, right?
Well, it is not the Cocks, Tom. It is the Jackrabbits. The Jackrabbits.
Jackrabbits.
So, very close. Cock and Jackrabbit, very close there, Tom. So this guy's not a real NFL quarterback. I mean, I don't know him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't know. Maybe he's a dick. But I'm not. He's not an NFL quarterback. Denver leads the NFL in sacks. They're top 3 in fewest points allowed. They have a really good defense. And they have had a short week, the Chiefs, with Andy Reid, short week to get this guy up to speed here. And so I expect a lot of sacks. I expect turnovers by the Chiefs offense. And this is what's called a GR game. You know what a GR game is, Tom?
GR game. What is that?
That's a get right game for the Broncos, Tom. Okay. This is where you feel good. You pump your chest out. You put your feathers up like a peacock. We used to be on Peacock. And you walk around with your feathers in the air everywhere, Tom.
Here's a fun fact. When we were on Peacock, this show now has been our Christmas show with 3 games. It's been going on 19 minutes. This is how long our entire show was when we did 8 games.
I just realized something. It appears that we both have an illness. It's called verbal diarrhea. We have
no inner monologue. Yes.
All right. Well, that's it. I'm taking the Broncos. This should be one of those 31-10 type games, barring Bo Nix taking stupid pills. That's the way this game is going to take it. All right, that's it. I'm done, Tom. Go ahead, Tom. Put the baby to bed. Come on, Tom.
Flip that coin and see. Penny for there. Penny betting on heads. A Penny again agreeing with Benny, taking the Broncos and giving away the points.
The problem, Tom, is that I've been off from the radio show here because of the holidays. So I just have to
Oh.
talk. I don't
I
talk
get it.
much other than if I have a microphone, I talk. But if I don't have a microphone, I don't really talk that much.
People would be surprised. I've also heard that about Johnny Carson, if I may make the Johnny Carson Ben Maller reference.
Yeah, baby.
Analogy.
Here's Johnny.
If he was at a party, he would not be the guy in the center, in the middle of the party. He would be guy over in the corner, quietly eating his homemade chocolate chip cookies.
Yes, that's pretty much what I was doing at the
Right.
pajama party that but we had there. All
When
right.
I didn't bring home your homemade chocolate chip cookies to the house, I did get in trouble. So it's a compliment to your cookies.
Well, I said take a doggy bag. I made
Oh,
like 6 different kinds of cookies. You should have taken them.
I know, I forgot.
All right, next time.
Okay. Always watch Benny versus the Penny. It only makes sense.